Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the J22 Report. I am your host, Johnny. I am your host, Johnnie Market. You all know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Just remember the disclaimer: nothing should be construed as financial investment advice. Just my opinions, thoughts on the market. Read more on the below. And just getting into today's stuff. First thing is, let's get into gold and silver. I think that's like right now. This is like 9:30 Eastern Standard. And gold and overnight's like at 40, silver 52. This is, this has been over 50 for 2 days now, maybe three. Gold's over 4,000. I think if it stays for like this week or more, I think another breakout's coming. So I actually took off. I got stopped out today in a silver junior, and then there's two other stocks I had, and I actually just took off those stocks because I'm so confident. Remember, not financial advice, just what I'm doing. I own so many stocks right now that I just didn't put the rest on stops because this looks like it's getting ready for a breakout, in my opinion. I don't know. There's a lot of people who disagree with me, think it's toppy and could correct for a bit and could correct like it did in April. I don't know. But to me, this is what it looks like. Could be right, could be wrong. Not a profit. Just say that. So if you look at it's above 50, above 4-1. I think if it closes this week above 4,000, gold and silver closes above 50. Look at platinum. I think this as well. If I had to buy any of these metals, I would buy platinum. Because historically this trades at a premium to gold. In fact, let's look at that. Let's ask Google AI, does platinum trade historically at a premium to gold? Yes, platinum has traded premium to gold. So that's why. And that's why, like, I don't know if you had, they used to have a gold club and then a platinum plan, just when you went shopping. But so that's the only reason. Oh wow. Kiko as a trading? What the uh no longer exist. But yeah, so that's the thing. I would just look 4,000, and if it stays there, there could be a breakout. More into the US. I thought this was interesting. So 52% of millennials are considering moving outside the US. They want out. I'm a millennial. I'm an old one, exennial, really. Uh, means like exennial. It actually is a thing if you're all. I actually think generational stuff is the tools of the elite to divide us. Exennial. If you don't know what exennial is, it's like a micro generation who experience a unique transition from the analog world to the digital one, and yeah, it was. And I'm like the bridge gap between Gen X and millennials. I am both. I have the characteristics of both groups. So I also might be the Oregon Trail generation. So anyway, that's all. And I'm glad because I really do believe I was like the in-between generation. So I do think it's in terms, but and then look at this, 63% of Gen Z want to leave the US to improve their quality of life and financial position. As a kid, this was unthinkable, leaving America. But the reality is all my in-laws, they don't speak English. They're Polish. They're from Eastern Europe, and I will say this, the quality of life overseas is better. It is. If you don't like it, then too bad. Live in reality and accept it. Like, yeah, I'm not going to BS you and be like, oh, it's just your opinion if you disagree with me. No, you're wrong, and you need to live in reality. If you think life in America is better than it is overseas, you're just wrong, and you need to start living in reality. If anyone would know, it's me. Half my family lives overseas, and it's not from America. So. Anyway, it's my married half, but GoFundMe CEO says the economy is so challenged, people are raising money to buy food. So now they're GoFunding me for food. It's pretty sad. I mean, I have to be honest. I just want to GoFundMe for food. I'd chip in a couple of bucks for groceries. The times are tough, especially if it was a family with kids. So, listen, GoFundMe CEO shared groceries is happening. So, seeing it more and more. So, GoFundMe for groceries. Pretty sad. So, of course, what's the Fed doing? Doing what they always do. It's prudent to ease a bit more. Yeah, they're going to go back down to zero. They're going to do everything they can. They just need the excuse. And the funny thing is, I think they would have cut rates sooner. Jerome Powell even admit this. Who that? Jay Powell. How do I feel like it's a sports name. Well, Jerome Powell, he even admitted, he said it was the Trump tariffs that he would have cut sooner. But yeah, they want to cut rates. Let's see if we can really get this. Sorry about this, but I'm citing for you. That's what I'm doing. Jerome Powell, said he would have cut rates faster if not for Trump tariffs. So he tried to blame, let's see, see, look, Federal Reserve Chair James stated July 2020 that central bank likely would have cut rates sooner if not for trade tariffs. Of course, they used that as I think they would have cut rates sooner. I don't think it was Trump's tariffs. The Fed doesn't want to appears political. And so what I think it was when Trump was going jumbo rate cut. They didn't want to look like they were going to be a mouthpiece for Trump. So I think Powell did it, but didn't cut rates for that. I think if Trump just shut his mouth and left the Fed alone, they would have started cutting rates. But he didn't. But he's eventually his ideology of asset price inflation, and screwing over the common man, for the asset holder, that will win out every time. And then Bank of America calls for 5,000 gold and $65 silver. I remember when Citibank called for like 2,000 gold in 2011. So when you see this, don't get so cocky. This could be a top call, more of a top than anything. I do think silver is going to break 50, but I wouldn't get too cocky. But Bank of America loves gold. And then the last thing I want to do is talk about saving. And I think I was listening to this Homestead podcast. I really like the podcast. Let's see if I can get it right here. I mean, it's just sort of a prepper type channel. I'm actually not a prepper. Look at that. Friday Night Lights. I don't know if you all know this, but it's one of my favorite books. I love the book. I got it. In fact, if you like sports, this is actually a very good book. Non-politics. I read this. I wish I could show it more, but yeah, see Friday Night Lights. Well, you know the book. But sad what happened to Booby Miles. and sad. Like, I mean, the town, I mean, those people are pieces of garbage. But it was a good book. Oh, Homestead. Let's see if we can get it. This woman has like this Homestead channel. It's actually, let me see. Oh, here it is right here. A Homestead Journey. It's actually, it's just like she doesn't really do much, but and she'll like have all these people talk like TikTok videos, and then she does like a 5 cent. But it is good because of the people involved. And I was listening, and I got the idea from this. And anyway, what it did is she said even if it's like $1 or $5 a month or whatever, I think you should get in the habit of saving. I think everyone should save in some way, because what happens. I subscribed to Avi's letter and got safer banking and got a bank account, and I have a savings thing there. And in my opinion, what I do is I'm trying to build a dividend stock portfolio. I don't even contribute that much. It's like $100 a month to it. And right now I'm buying oil stocks. And then I'm hoping the dividends and I can reinvest those. But I started out with $1,000 in it, and then I bought some stocks and oil dividend stocks, undervalued. Uh, so I don't have Exxon or Chevron. It's like Suncor. I own it, not investment advice. Canadian Natural Resources, not invest. And I have one for my daughter where I'm just contributing $100 a month. Uh, anyway, what? But she said something. Even if it's like $5 a week or $100 a month, or even even if it's $1, I would. I think you should do it just to get in the habit of saving, because it is a mindset and a hard habit. And sometimes I don't do it, but I remember I was reading something. They said some doctor had all this debt and all this everything, and then he's like, "Yeah, I still have this mortgage. I still have all this." And he's like, "Saving on that hasn't done anything for me." And he said, "Well, do you have a portfolio?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have a good sized portfolio now." And he's like, "Well, see, there you go. It has helped." So anyway, that's my opinion. Even if you have very little money, even if it's like gets to the point where it's like $1 a month, like just try to do it to get in the habit. But I start out to make sure I have a savings account, and I remember I was like, when my wife lost her job, I literally was living paycheck to paycheck, and I stopped saving in my savings accounts, and it just accumulated interest. But I got very frustrated. But I might start doing that, even if it's like $10 a month or whatnot. Just put some savings in there, get in the habit of doing it. But I started doing that with my brokerage account, and just the end of every month, I put in 100 for me, 100 for my daughter, and I'll probably have another kid, so then I'll put 100 for them. But even if I just don't have, even if I don't, even if it's not much, just do it, in my opinion, just to get in the habit. And you never know, it might add up. If it's a cash, in my opinion, not investment advice or anything, but I'll try to get a high yielding savings account. And then if it's a portfolio, just learn how to do dividend investing and buy dividends. I think those are good. I'm a gold and silver bug. I think the royalty and streaming sector, so that can even be added to it. But anyway, so remember, these are my opinions only, not financial investment advice. And see, thank you for listening. Hit that thumbs like if you already listened all the way through. Thank you for listening all the way through. I appreciate you. There's one guy who comments every time. Appreciate you know who you are. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next video.